Hello, this is Tamu Awani and you're with me, Rizal Zulkifli, and we'll be talking to the Managing Director of Nestlé Malaysia Berhad, Alois Hofbauer, on three things. On the development of Nestlé into a company that it is today, on the product that Nestlé Malaysia has, and third, on leadership and managing talents at Nestlé Malaysia. So stay tuned with me, Rizal Zulkifli, and also Alois Hofbauer on Tamu Awani for the next half an hour. Alois, hi, thank you for joining us. You've had a very illustrious career since you joined Nestlé in the 90s, and you've seen the company evolve and develop to what it is today. Maybe you can share with us what that was like to see the company develop from what it was in the 90s to what it is today.
So thanks, Rizal, first of having me here. And yes, obviously, since the 90s, the company has made a tremendous progress. Just to give you a little bit of a perspective, today, overall, the company has more than 300,000 associates around the world. And only in Malaysia, we have close to 6,000, in the region 7,000 people. Now, when you think about that one, I think many in Malaysia have been growing up with MILO, have been growing up with MAGGI Me, and so on and so forth. And I think what we can be very, very glad that over the many years, our predecessors have put so much effort behind to provide the best product to Malaysia. And Malaysia and Nestlé were growing up together. And today we are one of the biggest markets in the Asia region. We are the 5th biggest market in the whole of Asia. Only China, India, they are bigger than us. But overall, I think we can be very, very proud of what we have built.
And because of that relationship, I'm sure that's why Nestlé remains a premium brand and a brand of its own within the FMCG industry. And maybe you can share with us that strategy that drives Nestlé to have that brand position within Malaysia or Southeast Asia, for that matter.
I think it goes back to very, very basics. The basics are first and foremost in all what we do, the consumer is first. So it's about building the trust between the consumer and the company, building the trust between the consumer and our products. And what we live on, and this is our slogan, good food. So this is the highest quality food, great tasting food, good life. So it's not only about great taste, but also about nutrition, nourishment. So by having delivered this day on day, month after month, year on year, this relationship between the Malaysian consumers and the company has really been growing very, very strong. And that's where today still we are flourishing, even in not always easy economic times.
And how do you contribute to that development or to the success story of Nestlé, be it in Southeast Asia or in Malaysia?
Look, what you have is you have a great team, and today 99% of our staff are all Malaysians, and some of them, when you go to the factories, they're actually in the 2nd and the 3rd generation with the company, which is beautiful. So from grandfather to father to son, they're working with us. So there's a rich experience, there's a rich knowledge, professionalism of people contributing to the continuous growth of this company. And more importantly, what I want to do enforce, it's really about consumer trust. It is us providing day on day the right products in the best quality at the most affordable prices.
And you've also held various top positions within Nestlé all around the world. Maybe you can share with us what are some of the challenges to maybe different geographical locations, different countries, they have different challenges. What are some of the challenges and how do you overcome these challenges?
Look, I've been more than 20 years, close to 25 years with the company, and I'm originally Austrian. I come from Austria, but 20 years, so almost half of my life, I spent in Asia. I've been in different places. I've been in China, I've been in Taiwan, I've been in Sri Lanka, Now I'm in Malaysia, Malaysia truly Asia, right, which is combining all these things. But I think my career is not very atypical. So we have people in this company, also in Nestlé Malaysia, who have been working across the globe. And by doing so, we are building a real bench strength of highly capable professional managers, which ensure the continuity of this company. And yes, you're absolutely right. So different places do have different challenges. But one of the things what you can see today is that the consumers, in many aspects, as food will remain always local, but certain trends are global. And one of the trends which we clearly see is, and where the company has embarked on early, is this whole idea about nutrition, health and wellness. There's a famous saying, and I think you heard about that one, you are what you eat. And food is the best medicine, right? You know? And I think that's a very, very important philosophy which we follow. And we're working really, really hard, not only to give Malaysians a great tasting product, and I think that's the prerequisite to be successful, but to give them great tasting products which are good for them. And I think that's one of the big, big trends which we can see. And many of the products which you're familiar with over the many years now have been reformulated, improved to provide exactly on this promise.
And you look at these brands and you look at these products and also the trends that is happening and that is constantly changing. How do you equip yourself to make sure that you are one step ahead of the trend, or you make sure that you know what is happening in the market out there?
Yeah, well, there are two ways to go. First of all, we listen to consumers. We go out a lot and we interact, we immerse with consumers to really keep ourselves abreast of the latest developments. That's one thing. But then, being the biggest food, nutrition, health and wellness food company in the world, we have naturally the biggest research department there is on the whole on the global scale. We have more than 3,500 researchers around the globe. We have research centers around the globe, and for example, for the region, we have a big research center down in Singapore, which serves the region. And then also locally, we interact. So we're working from two angles. One is, what does the consumer want? So this is the whole area of consumer immersion and consumer research. And the second angle is, from a research, what is the latest which is emerging in these areas and how can we build it in?
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about Nestlé's products, and also after that, we'll talk about the human capital and also leadership at Nestlé Malaysia. We'll take a short break. We come back with Tamu Awani. Hi, thank you. You're still with me, Rizal Zulkifli, and I am with Alois Hofbauer, Managing Director of Nestlé Malaysia. And we're looking at, for the second block, we're looking at the products that Nestlé has. And I grew up with MILO. A lot of my friends also grew up with MILO. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of preference, or different preference when it comes to Nestlé's products and also Nestlé's brands. What would your favorite brand be?
Well, I think MILO is definitely one of them. But growing up in Europe, I think I grew up a lot with NESCAFE. NESCAFE was a big brand back then, and also MAGGI, I have to say. I'm coming from Austria, so MAGGI was a household brand in Austria, as it is in Malaysia.
And how do you place different brands or different products in different markets? And how do you strengthen the presence of these brands in different markets?
Look, I think when we launched products here in Malaysia, and we going, you know, the company is 100 years old, is first of all we try to see what fits into the local palate, right? But then also there are opportunities. I think MILO is an absolutely fantastic success story. Just think about it. Every day today, still 6 million cups of MILO are consumed on a daily basis in Malaysia. 6 million. That's equivalent to the population of Austria almost, right? So this is that's a big number. How was it built? It was built, as I said, that first of all people have to like the taste. So MILO and Malaysia I think it's a Malaysian taste, right? It's not really owned in Bars anymore. And then it has to deliver also on the equation, meaning what is the value you get for it. It's not only about taste, it's also about the nutritional value. Milo has tremendous nutritional values, and I think a lot of Malaysians can attest into this one. So when we go into new product developments today, what we see is that clearly our lifestyles have changed. So for a lot of the products today, when we look at it, how do they fit into your lifestyle? Now, I think you have a beautiful product here. Everybody grew up on Milo and hot Milo. We just launched a new product called MILO Nutri G.
Okay.
And it's the perfect product for young professionals and sports people, etc., like yourself. It's the great taste of Milo, plus the goodness of whole grains. So what you have here is, and this is the first in the Nestlé world, it is the goodness of oat, brown rice, barley, and so a perfect product, fantastic product. So when you're in the morning, you rush. I know many young professionals in the morning, very hard to get the time to prepare their breakfast.
So we have to beat the traffic.
This is the perfect breakfast on the go. So we try now to see how can we extend the reach of Milo beyond traditionally more for kids and younger teenagers to an older target group, and I think this is one of the ways. So we invested in new technologies. So today you get Milo in powder format, in 3-in-1 format, you get it as UHT, but also you get it now in this PET bottles. So
there's a lot of ways to develop the product or to develop the brand into something which is associated with the user. Say for example, when I was young, I would just drink Milo. So now that I'm a young professional, I would just go for this. So you continuously capture the market when
it's a very clear and strategic drive for us, talking about wherever, whenever, and however. So wherever you are, you should have access to Milo. However, in which format you want it hot, you want it cold, you want it instant, and then in any form you like it, right? So this is, you can get Milo also today as chocolate nuggets, you can get it as a cereal, and so on and so forth. So building on the power brand Milo, we give people many, many choices.
Do you concentrate on very few products in Malaysia, or do you try to develop more products for the particular market, such as Malaysia?
Yeah. In Malaysia, I think we are quite lucky because we have more or less everything the Nestlé world has to offer. I think the only thing we are not yet really strongly in, we are a little bit in, is on the water business. We are here with some premium waters like San Pellegrino and so on, but we are not in the regular water business. Other than that, we are everywhere. We are in ice cream, we are in culinary, we are in beverages, coffees, and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very rich assortment which we are offering to the Malaysian consumers.
Let's talk about your R&D facility, which is in Singapore, you mentioned earlier. Would we see more local or Malaysian-based products from Milo, from Nestlé, to be offered in the future?
Yeah, I think the beauty of Malaysia is because we are such a well-established company and we have such a consumer trust. Many of first products in the Nestlé world are coming out of Malaysia, and I think we can be very, very proud about that one. And it also talks about the relationship between Nestlé and Malaysia. I just introduced to you this first in the world Nutri G, the Milo with whole grain. We've launched a couple of other products. For example, we've launched here a product called Rubies. It's the first KIT KAT with a truffle filling in a gift format. First in the world. Most likely we are going to export that product around the world. We just got inquiries from places as far as Brazil and South Africa. So a lot of new products. When we go through, there's a lot of new products which are developed specifically for the Malaysian market. First of all, you have to serve the local consumers, but because they become a success here, we are rolling them out in the rest of the world. And I have to say, that gives me a lot of pride, because Malaysia being a prime mover in the world, in the Nestlé world, which is a big one, makes us really, really proud about it.
So we get to taste them first before the rest of the world gets to
Yes, most of these products, Malaysia has the privilege to be the first.
Is there a different way of consumers in Southeast Asia or in Malaysia? Is there a development or an evolution of how they consume FMCG products, especially from Nestlé?
Look, I think it's a change of lifestyle which we are going through, and you will also experience it yourself. Eating home and eating outside, the balance has shifted. As maybe 20-30 years ago, you would mostly eat at home. Today, specifically the younger ones, the working couples, they eat mostly outside during the week and then less inside. And this has a huge implication on our business, because today our out-of-home business for restaurants, quick serve restaurants and so on is growing at a very, very fast pace. That's one side. The other one is convenience stores, 7-Eleven, Petromats, etc., growing very, very fast, because a lot of people are on the go, and that time spent at home and the time also dedicated to home cooking gets less and less. So this is a huge shift, and with our product offering we have to follow that one.
So do you also change your marketing strategy to be more available on social media, for example? Would you actually look at that, or how do you look at that? Well,
yeah, that's obviously, you're coming from Astro, it's a very, very big question for you. I think media habits have changed tremendously. I think going back 20 years ago in Malaysia, you had, what, 3 TV channels? Today you have, because of Astro, you have 120 or more TV channels. Then now also we have to be real. I have 2 young boys, they are 18 and 21. Most of their media consumption is on the tablets, on their phones and so on and so forth. That creates a big, big change for us. How do we communicate with consumers? Because in the good old days is you went on 1 or 3 of these TV channels and you bombarded them with advertising. Today you have to go into a one-to-one communication. And it's possible, it's of course not as easy, but via Facebook, via digital marketing, the relationship between the consumer and the company has become a different one.
Okay, let's take another short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the workforce at Nestlé Malaysia and how they have helped Nestlé Malaysia to be what it is today, a premium brand when it comes to FMCG. Let's take another short break. We'll come back with Tamu Awani. Hi, you're still watching Tamu Awani with me, Rizal Zakapri, and I am with Alois Hofbauer, Managing Director of Nestlé Malaysia, and we will be talking about the human capital development at Nestlé Malaysia. Earlier we talked about the products and the brands of Nestlé Malaysia, and also Alois' career development and also the evolution that Nestlé has gone through since the 90s. So let's talk about the human capital development at Nestlé Malaysia. I think you mentioned earlier that Nestlé is a very family-oriented company. You look at the development of the people at Nestlé. They are, the father working at Nestlé and the son works at Nestlé after that. These are the things that make Nestlé a unique working environment within the Malaysia market. Maybe you can share with us some of the strength of Nestlé's Malaysia's employer and employees that has contributed to the development and also success of the company.
I think what is quite unique on Nestlé is that we still have a lot of people who stay with us for a lifetime, which is very unique in today's environment where people are switching jobs, etc. People join maybe as a young management trainee after graduation, or they join the factory after an engineering degree, and believe it or not, they stay for a lifetime. And that's not so easy because obviously there's a lot of offerings today. Because the economy has developed, people want to go from here to there, and so on and so forth. So this is something which we're very, very proud of. Our turnover rates still remain to be very, very low. And many of the managers, which are today senior managers, have been growing with this company. And I'm also proud to say that most of our senior managers are homegrown Malaysian talent. Our technical director, which is running a huge operation, close to 5,000 people, 9 factories, one of the biggest technical operations there are in Asia, he is a local here, and he grew up with us over the last 20 years. He was exposed to places like Australia, Turkey, and so on. And we have many of these examples. Right recently, and I think you have even covered it, I suppose, in Astro, is we had a project. We gave our most talented young people, and usually we expose people in regard of the development program to other places around the world where we think, but we also gave young people who joined us maybe only for 2-3 years an opportunity to go to overseas. And the way they applied this, they just needed to prove their case, and we choose 5 people out of a pool of over 100 people who applied, and they go to places like Japan, the UK, Germany, just to give them this additional dimension. And that's the beauty of what Nestlé can do. It's not only that you can make a great career in Malaysia and in the region, but you can actually make a global career.
Because of the trust that these employees have towards Nestlé Malaysia, do you think this has also contributed to the success story of Nestlé in Malaysia?
You know, you go to any of our factories, and I go a lot to the factories, you go to the shop floor, there's a tremendous pride of our peoples on the shop floor when they produce products like Maggi Me, when they produce MILO, and so on and so forth. It's something which you do not see in every company like that. So people really are very close, very proud being a part of that company, and they also are very clearly aware of their responsibility, and that makes, I think, Nestlé a unique place. And you mentioned it, I've been around in the Nestlé world, I've been in many places in Europe, in Asia. One thing which somehow binds us together is the Nestlé culture. And the Nestlé culture, it's hard to express, you have to live it in a certain way, but is wherever you go, it doesn't matter what's your background, what race, what religion you are, somehow we have this unique culture which easily makes us to communicate instantly when we meet.
And how do you retain the best talent that you get in Malaysia, for example, to make sure that they grow together with Nestlé?
I think it's about, you know, for sure, salary and so on are important things, right? You know, but you can never pay enough, right? You know, so there's always somebody who would pay more. I think it's more about the values which people embark, and our values are very basic values. We are more of a people-oriented company, less of a system-oriented company, for example. I think that's very critical. But also what we do. Because our philosophy, and I think I can very easily associate with, is good food, good life. Now, being in Malaysia, who doesn't like good food? So I think it's not easy, it's not difficult to associate with a company who wants to provide good food. And at the same time also good life, so meaning nutritionally responsible products. So if you like food, if you want to contribute to society, and can talk about how we contribute to society later on, I think it's a great place to be.
How does the top management of Nestlé Malaysia look at and grow together with the employees of Nestlé Malaysia? What kind of leadership style are we looking at on a day-to-day basis when it comes to decision-making process, introduction of new products, marketing and things like that?
Yeah, what we do is we have started some time ago a program which we call Reigniting the Growth Together. And what we do is the senior leadership of the company goes out to each and every site. So we have, as I said, 9 factories altogether. We have 6,000 people just in Malaysia. And believe it or not, we spend almost a whole day just with them. And they give us back their input, how they want to see the company improve. Last round, when we did it, we got the incredible number of 50,000 suggestions, 50,000 suggestions where we can improve as a company, where we actually can improve in regard of product and so on and so forth. So this interactive relationship, and it's not only about basically on digital and so on, but really also having this personal relationship with people makes a big difference.
Let's go back 360 and go back to where we come from in the earlier part of the conversation, which is you and Nestlé. Let's go to the part where you know, do you have a role model, be it within Nestlé or external role model that you look at when it comes to making a day-to-day decision at Nestlé?
Look, I grew up in a small village in Austria in a family business. My parents had a small family business, a family hotel run. So from very, very early childhood on, I was somehow in our own business. And I learned how do you work together in a small environment where you have maybe 10 employees. And so hard work and working together is a core part of the way I grew up. Now, as we go further and you then suddenly are responsible for thousands of people, the principles don't change. You have to respect people, and I think in the end of the day it comes about respect and trust. So this is something which is to be earned. You're not getting it for free. You have to build that relationships because people don't believe what you say. People believe what you do. I think that's very, very important, because if what you say and what you do is inconsistent, you're not really contributing, building a trust relationship. And in the ultimate, the biggest reward as you have as a senior leader in the company, or in my role as the CEO of this company, is that people trust and people basically then also will give you the very, very best, and we move the company forward together.
Thank you very much, Alois Hofbauer, Managing Director of Nestlé Malaysia, for being with us on Tamu Awani today and discussing Nestlé's products, Nestlé's workforce, and also your personal journey at Nestlé. Thank you very much. And also that's all the time we have today on Tamu Awani. I'm Rizal Zulkifli. Keep watching Astro Awani.